Okey dokey.
Okay.
Say this. Oh,
All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the March 9th, 2023 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board. Our meeting will now come to order. May we have a roll call, Madam Secretary?
what am I supposed to do with that?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Harrington,
Here.
Ms. Marsh,
Here.
Ms. Roby,
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Present.
Ms. Himes is absent.
Absent.
She called and said she won't be here today.
She won't be here. That's
Right.
what I thought. It's Bike Week over there. Yeah.
And Madam Chair,
Here.
thank you.
All right. Motion to excuse Mrs. Himes.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Roby made a motion. Mr. Gonzalez a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, while we're on roll call, we have Mr. Attorney Scott Simpson filling in for Mr. Sino, who will be back next month. We hear he's doing a lot better. And I'd also like to introduce Sergeant Tim Blowers, who's going to be with us because, and this is Officer Curtis Lamp's last day, so. That's who, yeah, I know. Anyway, so a few changes, and the person that we were supposed to have join our board decided that they wanted to join a different board.
Oh,
So it's just us. That's it.
excellent.
And we do have a quorum. All right, everybody had a chance to read the minutes? Any additions or corrections? All right, motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion,
second.
Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Wait a minute. I'm looking at something here. All right. Does anyone need to disclose any ex parte communications? Do we have any announcements, Madam Secretary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Page 2. Lien review number 1, CEB 0622 130 300 Yorktown Drive via Zoom.
Okay.
Page number 3. Case number 2, CEB 0223 39 879 Loomis Avenue via Zoom as well. Page 4, case number 8, CEB 0322 131 366 Brookline Avenue via Zoom.
Wait a minute, I have 13, oh, no, I'm sorry. Tell me what case it is again?
CEB number 8, I'm sorry.
Okay, number 8. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
got it.
Case not,
That's on page 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Case
page
8.
4.
Okay.
And page 5,
What are we doing with that?
he's Zoom.
Okay.
Case number 5, CEB 1022 228.
wait a minute.
Case number 9.
Page number 5,
No, case number 9 on page
case,
5.
page 5, number 9.
Right.
Okay.
1236 Baylor Drive is also Zoom.
My
Those are
goodness.
my announcements.
Okay. Lots of Zooms.
Zoom, we're gonna zoom.
Zoom, Zoom. All right. Okay.
I think we need to end that.
All right, would our code officers please stand up and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And we have more code officers and people in the audience. That's interesting. Okay, here's our procedure. We'll be calling cases by number and for the most part as they are listed on the agenda. If there are any attorneys present that must be in court at a certain time, we'll hear those cases first. And if there are police officers that need to get back on duty that are testifying, we'll hear those cases in the beginning as well. When your case is called, please come forward and be sworn in. State your name and address for the record. If you are not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner of the property. Our proceedings are recorded, so please speak right into the mic. The board hears from code officers first, and then you'll be given the opportunity to respond. Please direct all of your responses to the board. Witnesses sometimes testify, and they need to follow the same procedures. All right. We'll start with lien review number 1 via Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning. John Stinson, Code Inspector for the city. My qualifications are on file.
Okay, we'll wait till we,
Could I ask,
go ahead.
on this lien review, at least on my minutes, it says effective December 8th, 2023. That should be corrected, shouldn't it?
Effective December 8th, 2020. What should it be corrected to?
2022. Unless we're working into the
Where-
future.
I'm gonna check it right now.
Oh, you mean as it's written on the agenda? Okay, I was looking at the, okay. All right.
Yes, sir, it should be 22.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name and address through the record, please, and be sworn in.
George Sibley, 300 Yorktown Drive, Daytona Beach.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, so you finally got your roof done, right?
Yeah, long job here.
Okay, so tell us what relief you're asking for.
Well, we noticed the roof leaking in March of 2021, 2 years ago. And we brought in a roofer to fix it at that time, as we had done a couple of times in the past when we lost shingles or minor damage. But this time, the roofers told us that there was a great enough percentage of the roof that needed repair that we needed a whole new roof. So that was higher than our minimum amount for our homeowners insurance. So we applied to our insurance company with a claim. That claim was denied. And so we litigated with the insurance company. And that litigation took from March, which, by the way, March was 6 months before we even received a letter from you folks saying that we were non-compliant. So we were already engaged with a roofer to fix the roof at that time before we started talking with you guys. Then the case, 1 week before it was going to go to trial in August of 2022, that's almost a year and a half after it started, they settled the case out of court. And we contacted our roofers and said, great, let's get going. And the roofers said, well, we can't get going and order the materials until you actually get a check from the insurance company. And we know from our experience that frequently that takes some more time. So sure enough, it did take time, and we didn't get the check until October of 2022. At that time, we moved forward with getting our plans reviewed by the Homeowners Association and getting the materials ordered. And then we were told in November, when the review of our plans were completed by the Homeowners Association, then we were told by the roofers that the earliest they could get the materials, I don't know if it was due to the storms and all that stuff, and was January 30th of 2023, just now. So that was the time that we had. And so since we have responded promptly every time we had a chance to do something ourselves, and all of these delays were caused first by the lawyers and then by the insurance company dragging their feet about sending the check. And then by the lack of supplies of getting the shingles and materials that we needed to fix the roof. So since we were not responsible for any of these delays, I don't see why we should be penalized for anything.
Okay, thank you. All right, what would you like to tell us, Mr. Stinson?
The city agrees with Mr. Sibley, and we are recommending that we waive this lien.
Okay. All right, so the city is recommending that they waive the lien. Do we have comments from the board?
Yeah, I think the administrative fees should be paid at least.
Any other comments? Are you making that motion?
I can make it into a motion.
It's up to you.
Well, no, you asked,
Yeah,
proposal.
comments, okay.
That's
I
my comment.
think if this, how much are the administrative fees? 2, 4. I mean, the administrative fees are $24? I mean, do we want to get that?
Why don't we just waive it?
All right, well, okay. That's my feeling, is we just waive it.
Waive it.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to waive the lien in its entirety. Is there such a motion?
My move.
All right, Mr. Harrington made a motion. Is there a second? Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. There you go. Good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. All right, lien number 2. CEB 05-21-143, Gracie Guest Bats. Good morning. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Lucy Stewart Desmore, 840 Dunlawton Avenue, Port Orange. I am the Realtor representing the Batts family. And the letter has been sent to you that they authorized me to speak on their behalf.
Okay, and what is your name again?
Lucy Stewart Desmore.
Okay, you spell, go ahead.
It's best when you can pull that mic down.
Okay,
Okay.
And will you raise your right hand?
okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, why don't you tell us why you think your lien should be reduced?
I've been asked to represent them. The house had debris of extensive debris well before I came into the picture. My understanding is as a rental, cars and debris and trash and so forth on the property, and they were issued a lien on there. That is a picture of what it looked like previously. And if you saw the picture now, it has been, everything is gone. That is the home as it is now. I represent a lot of buyers for down payment assistance, affordable housing. So anyone that I am obtaining to purchase the property as the home, then my hope is for the next step is to get buyers from Mid-Florida Housing Partnership, submit a package in to the City of Daytona, which I've done many, many files with. They get the down payment assistance, and someone who thought they could never purchase a home can then purchase a home. It improves the neighborhood. As you can see next door to that house now, there is a new home going up, which is affordable housing that's going up. There are 2 homes across the street that I was responsible for placing buyers in back in the day when they were being built from CFCDC. So that's my whole purpose, is to
Well,
make sure.
our only, the only thing that this property was ever cited for was debris, trash debris removal. So whatever you do moving forward is not really anything that we have any control over or concern about. You have brought the property, or someone has brought the property into compliance.
Yes.
Was there a different owner? The original owner passed away. Was there?
This is all a family-owned property. So these are
Had they
two
taken
sisters.
Possession of the house?
Pardon?
Had they taken possession of the house when these fines occurred?
No, they just made sure that everything was removed as the lien
So this
priced on
was
them.
under the-
And yeah, these are two sisters that I'm now representing.
Okay, two sisters that you're representing, are they the estate? Are they considered the estate?
They are actually now the owners. The probate, everything has been done. So that's,
Okay, the
that's
probate.
Audrey and Rena Betts.
All right, I'll save some of my questions for Mr. Stenson. Go ahead, Mr. Stenson. We'll hear from the city, what the city's position is.
As she stated, this property came onto the radar for excessive outside storage and junk vehicle. It was the tenant who was creating these issues. He was non-responsive. They had to go through the eviction process, which took quite a while. And when he was finally removed, the property came into compliance relatively quickly.
Okay.
And the city is just recommending 10%, that the lien be reduced to 10%.
Be specifically $1,500.
Yes, sir.
How long did the property, they were cited in 2021? In July of 2021?
That's correct.
That's when the lien was imposed, and it was brought into compliance February 8th, 2023?
I have compliance at September 9, 22.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes, it was before.
I'd like verification of that. Makes a difference in how because that's relative, well, it's still over a year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair, may I inquire?
Go ahead.
Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city of Daytona Beach. John, is there, do you have the affidavit of compliance in your file?
It is in the file. I don't have it here with me now, but
Oh,
yes,
you
sir.
don't have it with you?
Correct.
Okay. No, not accurate.
Are we finding the affidavit of compliance? Okay. Non-compliance. While we're waiting for that, are there comments from the board?
Yeah, I have a comment. I think that was brought up that this case was in 2021. Our previous case was also 2021, and they were fine, so I would like to make a motion that we forgive this lien in the case of CEB 05-21-143. Is that the right case? Yeah. Due to the fact that they also came into compliance in the previous year. So all things being equal, although they're different cases,
There's different circumstances there too.
That's what I just said, although it's different cases. I just didn't say circumstances, I said different cases, right?
I still would like to know when the case came into compliance. It will make a difference in,
Well, the inspector said they're in compliance.
I know, but I'd like to know when. So, because that indicates to me how long the property was out of compliance.
Okay, well, I want to finish my motion.
Okay.
So in the case of CEB 0521-1443, Gracie Guest Batts, I would like to make the motion that we forgive the loan in this case as of today.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion? Motion fails for lack of second. You know, there are a couple of reasons that it's important to find out when this came into compliance. One is so we can determine how long it was out of compliance, no matter what, you know, and the circumstances of that length of time. And the other is that it really should, I guess we should have it for the record.
Yes, it should be part of the public record.
Right, it should be
Madam
part of the
Chair.
public record.
Yeah, track it, confirms February 8th, 2023.
Okay, February 8th, 2023. Okay, good, thank you.
Not September.
Right, not September 22. So it was not in compliance for a long time. So
Can I speak, right?
you may say something.
Okay, I don't know how that could be of February 2023 because I had a termite inspection conducted for the purpose of making sure the new buyers knew what was happening with the property so they would know what to, remodel. And that was done on February 15th. And I went into a listing agreement with them. Recently, right after that. And when I went over there to view the property myself with the relative that was in town to let me in, the property was already cleared up.
Well,
So,
that could be, but the code inspector perhaps had not been called to put the property into compliance.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
that-
because I went
that's
out there
how-
in.
that's how
in-
that happened.
Yeah, I went out there in early February, all of that debris and everything, when they first had me to view it, it was gone.
All right,
So
the
it was
city,
cleaned up.
is recommending that we reduce the lien to $1,500. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Mr. Harrington, the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed?
Oppose.
Okay, so that motion fails. That vote was
2-2. Did you vote?
I did. I voted for the motion, so 3-2. Or 2-3.
And Madam Chair, you may not have expressed to the board, just reminding them that it takes 4 affirmative votes for.
Right, so we're going to have another motion.
Well, we need to find out why to say no.
I say no because it was too long a period of time for it to be left in noncompliance.
Well, the only problem I have is since they were out of town, they didn't have anybody running their rental. I know.
We're sorry.
I know. But I guess when they got him out is when it got to be compliant.
The eviction process is what took the time.
Yeah, it did take
And-
some
Yeah,
time.
and
that's-
it is-
that's
it is
what took
tough
the time.
for landlords to deal with. Girl?
Tell me
That's why
about it.
I voted.
Okay, well,
So,
make another motion.
Well, can I give my opinion, please?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So, in my opinion, I abstained from the agreement because, as I repeat myself, equal treatment The other case might have different circumstances. They dated back to 2021. This case has different circumstances, also dated back to then. The other case was in compliance. This case is in compliance.
Well, every lien
So-
review that comes,
May
excuse
I
me, but-
finish, please?
Yes, you
Thank
can.
you, thank you. So therefore,
Or may.
thank you. So therefore, I am seeking equal treatment in how we do our cases, although there might be some differences, but it amounts to the same goal.
Okay.
Which is coming into compliance.
I understand what you are suggesting. However, every lien review that comes before us must be in compliance. So that means we would reduce everything to zero? You can't
No,
come
I-
before the lien review.
I think you're missing
You
my
can't come have
point.
a lien review unless you are in compliance.
Right. And
My feeling is the first case had issues with supplies, insurance.
That they had no control over.
They had no control over anything they did, and their fine was only $6,000 because they had filed the way they were supposed to. And they followed it, and if he could have got his roof done by them in December, it would have been December done.
right, but it sounds like we're making excuses for him.
No,
So-
the excuses aren't for him, it's the insurance company, if they would have paid his claim.
He had no control over what the
Right.
insurance company was doing.
I don't think we should need to discuss.
I don't either. I'm going to close the discussion, and I'd like
Madam
somebody
Chair.
to make, who was that? Mr. Sykes?
After further search on Trackit, there's an entry in the case dated September 1st, 22, that the property is in compliance. However, for some reason, we didn't close it until February 8th,
Okay,
23.
that makes a difference. Somebody like to make another motion?
I mean, would you like to,
And just
increase-
make, please just make a motion.
okay, I'd like to make a motion that we take the city's recommendation and do the 10% to $1,500 fine payable in 30 days for the,
I thought that's what we voted on.
it was, but,
Right. That's the
Do you want to
same
do
motion.
that again?
yeah.
Okay. There's been a motion made to reduce the amount of lien to $1,500, subject to being paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert to the original amount. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign opposed.
Oppose.
All right, motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Dipper, you said there was an affordable house being built, just.
All right, we're gonna move-
Kate, what is the cost of an affordable house these days?
All right, that's a side conversation. I'd like to move on. We're too slow today here.
Write it down.
All right. CEB, case number 1, we're moving on to old cases. Case number 1, CEB 02-23-26, Aaron Gert Jutage. Respondent present, Mr. Jones, good morning.
Good morning. Mark Jones, Field Supervisor, Code Compliance. My credentials are on file. Since last hearing, I have been in contact with the architect and also with the city. They have submitted an application for a variance due to property lines. They have a hearing later this month. I'd like to amend to the next cutoff to see what the results are of that hearing.
So they did apply for the variance?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They applied for the variance on the property size?
Yeah, well, what they applied for was a variance for all the setbacks, because without getting that variance, they cannot apply for a after-the-fact permit.
Okay.
Any comments from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until, when is the,
The next cutoff.
all right, 4/5/2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms.
Second,
Marsh, is
second.
second. Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Thank you. All right. Ms. Kirk, this is case CEB 02-23-39, William Hart. Oh, good morning, Mr. Hart.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
I can. Would you state your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please?
My name is William P. Hart, H-A-R-T. My address is 92 Cambridge Road, Madison, Wisconsin. I'm up here before the board for the case of my property at 879 Loomis Avenue in Daytona Beach.
Will you raise your right hand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sarah Kirk, Inspector with the City. My credentials are on file. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with Mr. Hart. There has been some activity. Right now, he's just waiting on a final for the window permit. Staff is recommending to amend to the next cutoff for compliance.
Okay, any comments from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 4/5 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, you have more time. The city recommended more time. We're giving you more time.
Thank you very much. And I had a final scheduled for yesterday, and the inspector was there, so
Oh,
I'm
good.
waiting to find outcome. So thank you very much for your,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, case number 3, CEB 09-22-205, L Lots LLC. Respondent present? All right, Ms. Kirk, what can you tell us?
Since the last hearing, there hasn't been any progress. I have had contact, but no progress. It's kind of backstep now. So staff is recommending a $100 a day fine to a max of $15,000.
So what is the status now? Have they applied for permits?
Well, there were still two permits that were open. One was the HVAC that failed the inspection. So that was last hearing. It still failed. So they still haven't done the corrections and had a new inspection on that one. The other permit in question was the driveway was done without a permit. So they went to get an after-the-fact permit, but there's corrections needed. And the contractor backed out. That did apply for the permit. Now he's backed out of it, so it's just kind of in limbo. They don't know what to do at this point. The owner doesn't know what to do.
Was it the contractor that was here last time, or? I think
That was the owner.
That was the owner that came last time.
Okay,
Who lives in Orlando.
yeah.
Did you just say he doesn't know what to do? What does that mean?
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out. The driveway, apparently there was a 5-foot setback requirement from the property line, and they were going to try to see about getting a variance because they said it didn't make any sense. There wouldn't have been enough room for the driveway. Because there was an existing, if you could go back to the previous, well, you can't really see it. There was a partial driveway. It was all crumbling. It's behind that roll-off dumpster.
Okay.
So they did just extend it from where it was out to the street, but there's also an issue with the apron so they would have to redo the driveway basically, or apply for a variance to see if they would let it stay the way.
Have they applied for variance?
No. So it's just kind of been,
When was
little
the
bit
last time you spoke with them?
I spoke with him earlier this month, or probably 2 weeks ago. I spoke with the owner, and then I spoke with a realtor, because they have a potential buyer for the home.
Yeah, immaterial, okay.
And then I also spoke with another person that was, said he was going to attend the hearing today, but he didn't, so.
I make
he
a
was-
motion to accept the city's recommendation of a $100 a day fine up to a maximum of $15,000
Okay.
starting
Today.
today.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Harrington and a second from Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, case number 4, CEB 01-23-10, Melissa Farrington. Not here. Respondent is not present. All right, Mr. Klieg, good morning.
Good morning, Officer Clegg. My credentials are on file. Pertaining to 1329 Golfview, since last month's hearing, I've had numerous contacts, numerous inspections. This is the only thing that's left. He's recoating the pool that was drained. City's recommending to amend to the next cutoff.
So what's left to do?
Right there, the pool.
Yep.
It was up to the top for about a year. He's just drained it, and he's got a recoating it. That's in compliance.
So that's all that's left to do is just recoating the pool, and you're recommending till the next cutoff?
Wasn't this case before us last month?
Yes, sir.
Yes. We found it was in non-compliance.
Yeah, he got the screen enclosure all completed and so forth, so I think that's left.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of non-compliance and allow respondent until April 5th, 2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Such a motion?
So moved.
Was that Ms. Roby or Ms. Marsh?
Me.
Oh, Ms. Roby, second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion
Opposed.
Motion carries 4-1.
Yes, it does.
Good morning, Mr. Butler.
Good morning.
All right, case number 5, CEB 02-23-25, Malik Art LLC. Is the respondent present? Okay, last time, I think Mr. Roger Davis, who was the manager and part owner, showed up here from Orlando. What can you tell us, Mr. Butler? What's going on?
Okay, I've been in constant contact with Mr. Davis since last month court proceedings. I've had, as I stated, several contacts with Mr. Davis. They have a renovation permit that's on file and it's under review. As of yesterday, I spoke with Permits and Licensing, and there are a list of things that needs to be taken care of before they issue the permit. So I'm requesting to amend to the next cutoff. I'm quite sure that we can get it resolved and he can get on his way with the repairs.
Can you tell me what kind of things?
From speaking to Permits and License yesterday, they have to provide a list of contractors because you have plumbing issues, electrical issues, which they have not done. Also pay the actual fee. So Mr. Davis is on that as we speak.
And all that could have been done since July last year?
That is correct, but let me share something with you. And when he was here before, the guy really got shafted by the contractor, so he has another guy. And one of these things, they have to stay in constant contact with one another because communication is the key. He understands that after I had a conversation with him yesterday, so I'm willing to give him another 30 days to see where they are. If not, it is what it is.
Anybody else have an opinion about this?
It's difficult to get contractors right now.
It is difficult to get contractors.
And once you get them, you got to get them to show up.
Yeah, and yes, I know.
But
But it's been,
I feel a
let's
little
see.
different about you and I getting a contractor for our house is one thing. When you're a professional real estate developer or whatever, you know, you have a certain responsibility if you want your business to continue, to have contacts and to do these things and not wait 6 and 7 months and use this as an, I mean, we've listened to the COVID excuses now for 3 years. We're about to go into the flooding excuses. And I accept those basically for an individual homeowner, but not, I just can't see it with somebody who's in private business who says they can't get contractors. I
Well,
just think it's a con.
It's the workers for the contractors. I still feel that people do not want to work for anybody.
I don't want to get into
That's how, well, we're not going to
social
talk about that.
But, I mean, you'd be out of business in normal
And
conditions. if
a
you
lot
couldn't-
has gone under because their workers won't show up, but.
Workers don't show up. That's sometimes true.
I mean, I had just a little personal story. I had a contractor said they'd do a job in 2 weeks. My husband talked them into saying a month, and it just finished last week. So, I mean, that was back from November.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead,
Yes.
please.
Just from having discussed this matter previously with staff, I recall from the last meeting, one of the respondent, that was the first time that they've been before the board, was last meeting.
Correct.
And there was an issue of fire damage, and so they will need these permits and things before they can go forward. So that's why we're making the recommendation that we're making to allow them the time to have those things occur. Hopefully, this will get improved. We'd love to see it in better condition than it's in right now.
Okay. And there were squatters in there, weren't they, that they had to evict?
We're not aware of that, no, ma'am.
Oh, did who, somebody said that.
No, ma'am. What was stated was the previous owner lived there, but he's deceased.
Okay.
So,
That too, okay.
The fire damage occurred since
It-
7/28.
that, I've been here almost 3 years and it's been like that, so.
Okay, so the fire really doesn't have anything to do with it because it could have been repaired starting 2 years ago, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not gonna oppose your recommendation, but I think I've expressed that. I think that contractors need to be held to a higher standard of achievement in solving these problems
Understandable.
than the individual homeowner. I really do.
Okay,
I agree
when,
with you.
when was the fire? Can we go over this again?
That has to be researched, because Mr. Davis just purchased this property, I think,
What was
this
the
year.
date of purchase?
Have to research it, I'm sorry.
The fire damage cited was May 2020.
May of 2020.
So it's looked like that since May of 2020?
That's what I was sharing.
And
How could a new owner buy it like that? I mean,
He just, real estate investor, he bought it. As he stated to me, it could have been a bad investment. but
so
he turned it
Malik
around.
bought that property looking like that?
Absolutely.
well, gosh, I'd be willing, I'll make the motion to give him the 30 days, amend it, and per Mr. Butler's recommendation.
Second.
All right, Ms. Roby has made a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 4/5/2023 to come into compliance, be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. It was seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, me. Okay, so the motion carries 4-1. All right, next case is 6 CEB 02-23-30. Edward Alexander and Dolores Alexander, who didn't come last time. Are they here this time?
No, ma'am, they're MIA. So
Okay.
therefore, as it pertains to 925 West Miller Court, since last month court proceedings, I've had no contact with the property owner and no progress. Staff requests $100 a day to a maximum of $10,000.
Any comments from the board? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $10,000. Such a motion?
So, second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 7, CEB 01-23-18, Lars Homes LLC. Is Mr. Rodriguez here this time?
No.
Okay. He was the owner, showed last time. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Alderman.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name is Steve Alderman, Code Compliance Inspector for the City of Daytona Beach, and my credentials are on file. Since the last hearing, I've had one contact the day of the hearing with the owner. He has not obtained a permit and cannot obtain a variance. There's been the violation remains, so the city is requesting $100 per day to a total of $15,000.
Is anyone living there?
I believe it's 4 people living there, 4 apartments.
Oh, it's it's a 4-unit building?
This is a renovation without permits from a single family to a 4-plex.
And no permits, no nothing, no variances, no nothing, okay.
They can't obtain it based on the square footage of the property.
Okay.
So we just do what we do.
Well, my question is that enough? $100 a day?
I don't think so.
When there's no movement, no nothing, no cooperation, no applications, no anything. And just gone ahead and what's your feeling?
Well, I mean, I'd even go up to $500 a day to get his attention, but it doesn't seem that it's gonna matter to him. He'd just let him live there and pay the fine when he gets rid of the property.
I know, but it sends pretty good message.
Yeah.
And it is a business, so they tend to, not gonna wait till he, probably, I don't know
I'll make
this.
the motion of $500 a day.
All right, Ms. Roby made a motion to impose a fine of $500 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the maximum of $15,000. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Is that timeline gonna work, just barely? You give him 30 days to come in compliance, and on that day, I guess it works out to 15,000.
Yeah.
He was supposed to come into compliance in February. And he didn't.
Yeah, the fine's starting today, I'm just.
Yeah, the fine starts today because he's,
30 days, it'll be 15,000,
yeah.
just asking.
No, I'm not sure I understand what you're asking.
Wish we could raise our
Well,
15,000 up.
I don't.
Oh, we can't do that,
Yeah,
so.
That's what I refer.
Oh,
to. I
okay.
don't want it to be over.
I get it.
50,000.
I get it. Okay, it can't be, that's a limit that the city has placed on liens, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so we can't. That would take a motion from the city commission to change that, probably.
Maybe we should look into that.
Okay. All right, let's move on to case number 8, CEB 06-22-131. Adam Kuvecki?
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Kuvecki, are you on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. State your name and address for the record and be sworn in, please.
Name is Adam Kuvak, 366 Brookline Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32118.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And I swear.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to let the city present their case, and then we'll let you have your say, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Yes, since last hearing, I've had numerous contact with the owner. This property did receive additional damage during the hurricanes. He has an application for framing repair has been submitted and is under review. He also has electrical and siding permits which are active. The owner has also provided me a notification from the window manufacturer that he has purchased the windows, and they're probably a few months out. Staff is recommending amending the compliance date to the June cutoff to give him time to get the work done.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. It's Kuvek?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
Mr. Jones was correct. I appreciate him conveying the message correctly. Only difference is that the permit was issued as of yesterday
Okay.
for the framing work that will need to take place prior to the cladding and the windows. So fortunately, the contractor was able to negotiate through the building permit department and obtain his permit as of yesterday.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jones, the only violation is the dilapidated exterior wall.
Yes, the siding was the original violation, but then due to the hurricanes, it caused additional damage. So we can't clear the exterior siding violation until the rest of the repairs are made.
Oh, okay, when I said wall, I was thinking of some kind of retention wall or something. You're talking about the actual siding of the building?
Correct.
Okay. All right, any comments from
I
the
have
board?
a question.
Go ahead.
So, and this case was notified, first notified 11/15/21, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Some time ago. What did you do when you got notified, Mr. Kuvek, in 2021, in November of 2021?
Madam Chair, for whole of the year of the 3 years, as a matter of fact, 20, 21, and 22, I was working out of state, so I was unable to either respond. I think I might have missed one hearing because I was out of state. Either respond or do the work. So once I was really engaged in it and came to the first hearing, I knew the sense of urgency was to get it done and come into compliance. So that and as you spoke about earlier, finding a contractor to do that work was extremely difficult.
And if you can see by the photo that's on, he's already got the roof replaced, and that permit has been finalized.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, and there has been work accomplished, and you're continuing to work on it. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. As Mr. Jones just stated, the very first thing that needed to be repaired was to get a dry roof over the building so that the walls would no further become dilapidated. So the roof is complete as of November, and then he began working on his permit for the remaining repair work.
Do you live there?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay.
I travel for work, so I get to be home on
Travel
weekends.
for work. Okay.
Yeah, I get to be home on weekends and holidays and stuff like that. So I'm in construction, so it has to be a contractor for me to do the work.
Okay. Any comments from the board?
May I ask what the expected completion date is?
Yeah, so once the windows are delivered, late May, I should be done by mid-June to the beginning of July.
Well, my feeling is I'm willing to go along with Mr. Jones's recommendation at this point because he's giving us a date that when the work will be completed, and he has completed a large part of the work. That's my feeling. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion to accept the city's recommendation and amend to the June cutoff, which is
It's June, it's actually May 31st.
May 31st, 2023.
Okay.
Second.
All right, Ms. Marsh made a motion, Mr. Harrington a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, case number 9 is a Zoom call as well. CEB 10-22-228 PB Lands LPI GP Inc. Good morning, Mr. Yates.
Good morning.
Wait till we get the next, oh, I thought you were going to be on Zoom.
There might be somebody on Zoom, but he was gonna have a call this morning that made it run late, so.
Okay. You're his, are you Dana?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you're the agent?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, well, we'll see if that person, who would that person be?
Fabrizio Lucchese.
Say that again.
Fabrizio, Fabrizio.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Will you raise your right hand, Mr. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, we'll hear from Mr. Yates, and I'll give you a chance to tell us what's going on, too, in your opinion. Go ahead.
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact, but unfortunately, the permit, the site is not being taken care of, so I'd like to ask for a fine of $100 a day to a maximum of $15,000. And you just leave that photo up, please.
Is anyone living there, Mr. Yates? No.
And what I'm talking about by the site not being taken care of, if you look to the right of the home there, you'll see a pile of debris that's just been there for weeks. And there's dumpsters on site that it could be put in.
That, all that debris to, okay. And what's your recommendation?
$100 a day to a maximum of $15,000.
Okay, Ms. Spear, what would you like to tell us?
So the permit was, I guess, the status right now is on hold because the HVAC contractor originally was Jerry Brittingham, and that was when we started this permit process a long time ago. So they pulled off because we haven't moved, so they're not doing the work. So we have another HVAC contractor, so they just have to update that. So that's the only thing holding it in the status that it's in right now. So I can't remember. Revoked wasn't what it said online. It was like.
Well, you had a permit and then they
Pending.
removed it from you.
Okay, but that's when I called. That's all she needed, was just the new HVAC. So I emailed that over, and they should update
But
it.
do you have a new permit?
No, it's still in like a hold status until it's just the HVAC subcontractor has to be listed on the permit. It was originally Jerry Brittingham when we got the permit, but they're not going to do the work. It's a different HVAC contractor. So it's just the means of adding them back to it.
And when did you tell the city that you needed a new contractor?
So I emailed the new contractor's information to them yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yes.
But it was
So-
a month ago that they took the permit.
Okay. Comments from the board?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I noticed the inspector, I want to make sure I heard you right, that all this debris and there's a dumpster.
Yes, correct. That dumpster, you can see it right to the left there, that brown dumpster's there. They actually have 2 dumpsters on site now,
Oh, okay.
both with plenty of room,
Right.
but they're just not
They're full.
maintaining the site.
The dumpsters are
My
full.
question to you then is why?
The dumpsters are full, and we're waiting for them to dump them, which they should be there tomorrow. And the roof, all of that material there is from tearing down the roof because that's the process and demo that we're at. The entire roof is coming off, so they've been filling the dumpsters, but the dumpsters are full 100%.
How
They
long-
can't be dumped.
Mr. Yates, do you know how
Or-
long those dumpsters have been there on the property or have been
They've been there
full?
since, the first one's been there since January. The other showed up late February.
And the tearing of the roof was done without a permit.
No.
No.
They did have a permit, but their permit got revoked.
Okay, so with a revoked permit.
Not when they did the work, they were allowed to do the work.
All right, so this company was first notified in.
But just
Go ahead.
if you guys would like to see the photo, this is from March
1st, and this is the dumpster, just so we're clear that it is indeed empty.
From March 1st, okay.
But it's full now.
And that debris was still on the side there.
Oh, looks almost empty.
Yeah. And I went by the other day and there was still room in the dumpsters for sure.
All right, you were first notified that the property, or someone was first notified that owns the property, in September of 2021. What's...
So we first purchased the property in 2021. I believe it was August. Immediately we got notified. But the plans with the property was to renovate, it's actually going to be expanding the property, the footprint of the property, so it's almost a full rebuild. So when they wanted, the comments on there was like paint peeling, dilapidated roof, sections of the roof, things like that. But it didn't make sense to repair those things just to tear them down again. So it was the process of getting the permit. One of the other things noted was we had a dumpster because we were starting to, like, the property when we took it, there was trash outside. It was disgusting. And so we started cleaning up and putting stuff in the dumpster. And then we were notified that we didn't have the permit to have a dumpster on site. That was also, I think, noted in the original.
Unpermitted renovation part?
Yes, correct. But what we were doing was getting plans together for the new layout before we could really have a permit application approved. So it was more just kind of prepping for it. Our plans were not to do anything without a permit. It was just cleaning it up. The place was, the roof was leaking, so the stuff inside was disgusting. Anyways, so we applied for the permit, and it took a very long time to get the permit.
What was the permit specifically for?
A full renovation.
A full renovation?
Remodel.
And to be clear, it took so long because the city was waiting on comments from them to be responded to, not because the city was derelict.
Okay, and my question then, Mr. Yates, to you, is do they, Ms. Spear indicated that they were going to enlarge the property. Was that part of the permit as well?
Yes. The new permit that they submitted for, yes, does include the renovation and the expansion.
Can you tell me how this case came to be? Was it a citizen complaint?
Yes. Yes, it was. And I actually, when I was out there, I spoke with one of the neighbors recently who had the same concern. Just, what's the deal with all the trash outside of it? I thought they were getting the renovation done.
All right, any comments from the board? All right, the city has recommended $100 per day, up to $15,000. I have one more question. Where is PB Lands LP1 GP Inc. located?
In Daytona. That's the mailing address, yeah. It's just a holding.
And
asset.
the owner lives where?
Canada.
Kenya?
Canada.
Okay.
Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous, Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches the maximum of $15,000. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Gonzalez and a second from Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 10, CEB 06-22-127, Shannon Martin Shore. Shannon Shore Martin. Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name and address for the record.
Shannon Shore Martin, 1480 North Peninsula Drive, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32118.
Okay, and be sworn in, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Jones, and then we'll hear from you and see what's going on here.
Since last hearing, I have had contact with the property owner. Construction is in progress. They've got the wall removed, and they have the material on site to complete the reconstruction. Staff is recommending amending to the next cutoff.
How much more is left to be done?
Just to build the wall.
Okay.
Yes, and there's now a new problem with building that wall. Sorry, I hardly have a voice left. I just recovered from COVID, but how the permit was that I had to pay for my structural engineer versus what the permit says are two contradicting things. The permit says the issued permit says that the wall has to the wall will be repaired and put back exactly the way it was. But the city approved this, stamped it, sealed it, and attached it to the permit. So now, do we put the wall back the way that it was originally, or do we put it back on the way that the city approved the new?
You're going to have to ask Mr. Jones about that, and since
That's the new issue, and Bromley has been out, so we're trying to figure that out now, because it's.
This would be an issue between the building department, for them to make a determination, between what the engineer, designed for it and what the city approved. Our violation is just the wall needs to be reconstructed. She'll have to work with, which she told me she already has. been
Yes.
Working with the city to get it, come up with some sort of solution.
So
Everything's
it's got to take more time.
Yeah.
It seems like with the.
Yeah, everything is purchased, everything's in the garage, the concrete's there, the rebar's there, materials are all ready to go. I paid for the guy to come dig it out with a tractor, and we're just gonna put that dirt back in. Palm trees have been removed because there were 4 palm trees that was also a part of the wall cracking. But right now, it is how the permit is written versus how the blueprint is drawn.
All right.
It shouldn't take, it should be, I should have an answer.
Okay.
Mr. Bromley's been coming out pretty often, so he's
All right.
well aware.
Thank you. Any comments from the board?
Should we give them 2 months? No.
My permit's up April 20th, so it should be complete by then.
The problem is our meeting is April 13th. That make a motion if you'd like to amend the previous order.
Yeah. I was thinking that maybe to May 3rd, cutoff date of May 3rd.
That should work. It should be done by then.
City's
All right.
fine with that.
Is that city okay with that? All right, a motion has been made by Ms. Roby to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until May 3rd, 2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
I will. Thank you.
Case number 11, CEB 02-23-34, Barbara Morgan. No show. Okay. Mr. Yates.
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact and the work has been arranged with the contractor. She just needs a little more time for it to get done, so I'd like to amend to the April cutoff.
Where?
It's the abandoned fence posts with the nails sticking out of it. It was,
Oh, I see,
started,
in
it
the
started
front
out as
there.
a partial fence, and then she removed part of it in preparation to just get the rest of the work done.
Okay. And she has somebody to do that work?
Yes.
And so you're recommending next cutoff?
The April cutoff, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 4/5/2023 to come into compliance or return to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So, second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 12, CEB 11-22-256, Roy Doveberg. last time, or we gave them 2 months, and the son came. Mr. Dovberg is ill. He's still, okay. All right, and a lot of progress had been made. What's going on now, Mr. Stinson?
Since the last hearing, the only issue left is the driveway, and he has permits. The permits are under review, and as soon as they get approved, he will start to repair this driveway.
Okay. It's
So
pretty
I'd like to amend this to the May cutoff.
Okay. Comments from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until April 5th to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of final.
Madam Chair, I believe the inspector said
Did you
May.
say May?
Yes.
I'm sorry. All right. To amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until May 3rd, 2023 to come into compliance.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby. Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 13, CEB 02-23-31. Manuel Corabia. Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name and address for the record.
Manuel Corbea, 445 Zelda Boulevard.
Okay, be sworn in, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Thank you.
Did you say you live there at Zelda?
That is
Okay.
correct.
All right. We'll hear from Mr. Stenson, and then if you want to add something, you're welcome to. All right, Mr. Stenson?
Since the last hearing, I have been in contact with the property owner, regular contact. They have applied for the permit, and I'd like to amend this case to the April cutoff so they can have this work completed and permit finalized.
All right, I just have a question. Could we go back? What are we doing with those windows that are cemented in? Or what, I don't know, what are they? I can't determine what that is.
Those look like where the windows used to be, and they removed them.
Okay,
And you can see on the right side of the picture, there's new windows being installed. So it's just a fact of moving the location of the windows.
okay. And you don't need a permit to do that?
Oh, yes.
or- Oh, you do, and that's part of the permit?
Correct.
Okay, cool, okay. You want to tell us anything? You're moving along.
Correct. And in fact, I also, so the permits are taking a little longer because we gave them back because they had a complaint that we had 2 kitchens. And in order to fix that, we have applied and were accepted for an ADU because I live there. And yeah, so it's to allow for the 2 kitchens.
To allow for what?
2 kitchens.
You have all the permits that you need to do that, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. That correct? Okay. Well, any comment from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to amend previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until April 5th, 2023 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 a day.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to our new cases. All right, the first is number 14, Mark Dieter. And it's Mr. Yates's case. And we're just here to do, I'm going to tell, I don't know if all of you people out in the audience are here for new cases, but all we're doing today is determining by evidence, whether it's photographic evidence or it's evidence from the code enforcement people, about whether your case is in compliance or it's not in compliance. We're not doing anything else with your case today except determining that. We don't fine anybody during this part of our meeting. This is just, you're either in compliance or you're not in compliance. So that's where we are with this. But Mr. Dieter's not here in any case, correct? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Yates.
All right, this case was opened August 2nd, 2022, and was citizens' complaint. The notice of violation was issued for outside storage, dirt, grime, missing screens, missing and broken screens, peeling paint, dilapidated garage, missing house skirting, broken light fixture, broken window, dilapidated door, and wood rot.
Is that all?
They were first notified August 20th, 2022, and compliance was due September 19th, 2022. I've had contact with the owner, but the issues remain. I'd like to ask for finding of noncompliance with compliance due by the next cutoff.
Okay, I do have a question, because we look back and see when the violation was issued. So this is a good case to show this on. So he was first notified, he was supposed to come into compliance in September. Here we are, 6 months.
Well, the owner is a disabled veteran, so I did try to work with him extra hard,
Okay.
but it just unfortunately isn't happening.
Okay. But are we, like the next case too, is the same thing, it's another August case. So that goes to show that we have some months in there.
We do, and I think, and you can talk about this, that some of it is up to the discretion of the code enforcement department. In other words, if there's a reason, if they go there and there's a reason that somebody hasn't been able to get material, whatever the reason is, they're allowed to use their own judgment as to when.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I just want to say that, that's a lot of time, even though I appreciate them doing that for people, because it is a hard time out there for people to come up with money to do things to.
Right.
And
it's, I mean, if they're working on it or trying to
Yeah.
do something, but it's a pretty serious case, it looks like to me.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think maybe, I don't know. I think maybe we should look at, maybe you guys could put in your notes when you come up to talk to us, so we know why there's 6 months there, that there hasn't been anything done. Like you could say, we have talked to him and we're trying to help him with.
Well, and he did do things in the interim, like basically there was an unpermitted fence that was removed, the cleanup was started, but then we just faltered, but absolutely.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I just don't want us to, based on like a lien review, and we say, oh, well, it's been 3 years.
Right.
Well, he's worked on it for 2, but he got sick and then he came back to it, and just so we have a little bit more.
Of course, that's why we're sitting here, so we can ask those questions.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All right. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is 4/5/2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby. Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, now we have Mr. Butler for case number 15 CEB 0223-27 SF Homebuyers LLC. Anybody out there? Okay, no.
As it pertains to 1032 Cadillac Drive, this was a field-generated case. I conducted a site inspection on August the 10th, where it was determined the property had the following violations: overgrown landscaping issues, as well as a dilapidated driveway. The first notice was received on August the 17th, 2022. On September the 15th, 2022, the violation was to be in compliance. Last date of reinspection was March the 6th, 2023. Result of my reinspection was non-compliant. I've had contact with the owner who has begun the work, as you will see on the pictures. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance next cutoff.
Is SF Homebuyers a
SF.
company in Daytona or
This-
Canada, or where are they located?
No, this guy here is down south. Yeah.
South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida.
And that's, yeah, maybe that's what SF is. All right. Does anyone live there?
Yes, it's someone who's living there now.
What?
Yes, someone is
It's
living there.
occupied? Okay.
And there is a picture that's showing where they already formed the driveway, so I'm sure it's going to, right there,
Okay.
should be completed by the next cutoff.
Okay.
Permits are in place and everything.
Okay. Good to know. You know, the other thing I wanted to say is that there's a certain legal amount of time between when somebody gets noticed and when it comes to the board, and that adds into it too, you know. So anyway, we're back to this case, CEB 022327. Chair will entertain a motion finding respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date for 5/2023,
So moved.
or be returned to the board for consideration for a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Mr. Roby made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 16, CEB 03-23-46, Brianna Johnson.
She's not here. Did speak with her. However, as it pertains to 1344 Cedar Bluff, this was a citizen complaint case. I conducted a site inspection on November the 29th, 2022, where it was determined the property had dilapidated fencing issues. A first notice was received on December the 17th, 2022. January the 17th, 2023, the violation was to be in compliance. Last date of reinspection was on March the 6th, 2023. Result of my reinspection was non-compliance. I've had contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance, next cutoff.
She need permit to do anything?
She's removing the fence,
Okay.
so she doesn't. But as you can see there, she only moved a partial part of the fence. So
Okay.
that part that you see to the left there, all that has to be cleaned up.
Okay. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date for 5/2023, be returned to the board for consideration, fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Marsh, second, Mr. Harrington. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 17, Mr. Alderman, CEB 03-23-40, Jara Chanyan. No show. Respondent not present. Okay.
No.
Go ahead, Mr. Alderman.
Yes, this case was opened on August 4th, 2022 for overgrown property, rotted fascia boards, rotted roof, rotted siding, missing address, and peeling paint. There's been no contact at all. First notification was September 21 of 2022 with a posting. Compliance was due 10/21 of 22. Last inspection was February 27, 23. Request determination to come in is not in compliance, to come into compliance in April cutoff.
Does anyone live there?
No.
But their car is being stored there?
Uh,
I mean, if they're legal,
they're
yeah,
there.
okay,
No, they're expired.
okay. They're expired?
Yeah.
God. Okay,
I watch it for being broken into, but so far it has not yet.
okay,
But it will.
all right. Questions from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, April 5th, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby?
Second.
Second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Case number CEB 02-23-28, Bobby Caldwell at 1311 Hillcrest.
Yes, this case was opened on July 26th of 2022 for expired permits, rotted roofing, rotted roof trusses, rotted overhangs, rotted exterior doors, broken windows, peeling paint, missing screens, and damaged fencing. There's been contact with Mr. Caldwell on numerous occasions. First notification was July 26th of 22 with a posting. Compliance was due of August 26th of 2022. Last inspection was February 27, 2023. Requested determination of non-compliance to come into compliance in the April cutoff.
Someone live there? Is it occupied?
No.
Okay, any questions from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent commit to compliance by the next cutoff date, April 5th, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gonzalez, motion. Ms. Marsh, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Garcia. For case number 19, CEB 03-23-44, Donald Watrick at 506 South Street.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Daniel Garcia, credentials on file. This case was generated from a citizen complaint. The violations is not having running water. Site inspection done on August 5th, 2022. Notice was posted on October 21st, 2022. Compliance deadline was October 31st, 2022. Last day I re-inspected the property was on February 23rd, 2023. And the result in my re-inspection finding it in non-compliance, I've had no contact with the owner. There is occupants residing in the unit.
There's what?
There are people residing in there.
Without water?
Correct. And staff requests the finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
I had a question.
Go ahead.
Did you confirm that there's no running water?
Yes, I have. I've called the utilities downstairs, and they said they haven't had running water.
Thank you.
Who lives there? Do you know who?
No, they didn't even say. I think they were squatters, but I'm not positive. They just said they're not.
Do we have an address for Mr. Watrick? Just out of curiosity, I mean, does he live there?
No, he doesn't. He's not living there.
Where does he live? So he just owns the property. We might as well talk a little bit about this right now. He owns the property and is not providing water to tenants? I don't know, is that it?
He probably has the tenants paying their own water.
That's
Madam Chair, I don't know if we have any. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the address listed, 506 South Street, that's his address, but he's not there, and the police and myself have tried to reach out to him and find him, and they're not able to. So we haven't found him.
Okay.
And I don't believe we have any evidence at this point of it being a tenancy, right? Do we know whether it's
Right.
a tenant or not?
Well, does he have a rental agreement with the city? No?
No, we don't have anything.
Okay,
We-
all
we
right.
don't-
Nothing okay, indicate that he's renting the property out or, okay.
Correct.
Just out of curiosity, wouldn't that be city water?
Well, yeah, but you gotta apply, you gotta go and get it.
Okay, I'm just asking, would it be?
Yes, and they did say that they had applied, but they did not allow them to do so.
Oh,
They needed the owner for that.
That would be an indicator that there's no rental agreement generally.
Right, okay.
And they're not the owners.
And, okay. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent commit to compliance by the next cutoff date, April 5th, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 20, Mr. Garcia again, CEB 03-23-45, William Belden. Mr. Belden here? Oh, okay.
This case was a citizen complaint. The site inspection was done on September 26, 2022 for outside storage and parking on the grass. Notice was posted on January 6, 2023. Compliance deadline, January 16, 2023, and the last day re-inspected was on March 8, 2023. Result of my re-inspection finding in non-compliance, I have had no contact with the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance, compliance by next cutoff.
The plywood on the front door?
Yes, ma'am. This property's been posted by John Cecil downstairs for condemnation. There were people that weren't supposed to be in there. Police have made several contacts with them and removing them. And this vehicle just remains there. They don't know who it is.
So no one's living there now. It's not
No,
occupied.
Not now, no.
Cars still parked there.
Yes.
Right. Everything's the same. Okay. Is the outside, where is the outside storage?
It's been removed.
That
It-
has-
It was up front, it was
Okay.
some.
Okay. All right. Chair will entertain a motion from respondent non-compliance or respondent committed compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned, which is April 5th, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration fine of up to $1,000 a day.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Marsh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
Thank
you. All right, Ms. Kirk, case number 21, CEB 02-23-37, Liam Bates, Tarragona Way, 552. Okay. Respondent not present. Go ahead, Ms. Kirk.
Okay, thank you. This is a field-generated case that was open on April 26th of 2022 for missing address numbers and a shed without a permit. I have, first notification was July 19th of 2022. I have had contact with the owner. I re-inspected the property on March 1st of 23, non-compliance. Staff's requesting an order of non-compliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
So you said you had contact with, what did this person say?
He said well, for the address numbers, he said he put them up, but I went by and I still don't see them. So
Okay.
But the shed, he admits, well, he bought the property with the shed there. The shed was put in, he acknowledges that the shed was installed in 2014. And he's just trying to go about obtaining an after-the-fact permit.
Okay, because he wants, okay.
Right, but he also said.
Does he
he's going to
live
be
there?
Today. Yes, he does
Okay.
live there.
Questions from the board? The chair will entertain a motion from respondent in non-compliance and or the respondent come into compliance by April 5th, 2023, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 22, CB 03-23-50, Aladdin Raz Nazareth. Oh, boy.
Go ahead.
Is this one person? All those names for one person?
This is
or
my
it-
son's name. Yeah.
Would you pronounce that for me, please?
Aladdin Ras Nazarate, Filgueiras Pena Francisco.
Thank you. Okay. And you are?
Arlette Harris.
All right, would you state your address? You stated your name, but your address and be sworn in. What is your address?
1110 Australia Avenue,
Oh, so you
Daytona
live
Beach.
there?
Yes, miss.
Okay. With your son?
My son.
Okay, so would you please be sworn in?
Before you do that, can you spell your name for me, please?
Arlette. Last name is Harris. Harris.
Thank you. Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, miss.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to let Ms. Kirk explain what's going on, and then we'll give you a chance to say something if you'd like, okay?
Okay.
Okay. This is a field-generated case that I opened June 3rd of 2022 for an expired permit, HVAC, a canceled renovation permit. So there's unpermitted renovations, debris, outside storage, peeling paint, crumbling exterior. First notification was August 25th of 2022. I have had contact with Ms. Harris. I re-inspected the property March 1st of 2023, non-compliance. Staff is requesting an order of non-compliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
Has there been anything accomplished?
If so, it's very minimal that I didn't notice it.
How about the outside storage and debris? Is that, any of that been cleaned up?
No.
Okay. Well, from the pictures, Ms. Harris, we see that things haven't been done that need to be done.
Yes.
Tell me, so we're just here today to say that.
Okay.
We're not here to fine you or to do anything, but it would be, is somebody going to get on this? Because the next time you come, we may be able to fine you, depending on the circumstances.
Okay.
I want you to be aware of that.
I don't speak English
That's okay.
well.
That's fine.
But,
You have something to
okay,
speak.
first time the lady asked me to remove cars I have in the garage, 4 cars. And we removed.
What lady?
She.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's all right. Then Ms. Kirk, that's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't know who you were talking about, that's all. So go ahead.
She asked me to remove the cars because we don't use the cars, broken cars.
Right.
We removed the cars. The cars there, the one we use every day.
Okay.
Okay, and we remove a lot of trash, construction, but there is a lot over there.
Right.
Okay, we bought a house like this.
When
And
did you buy the house?
almost 2 years. And the reason we didn't paint yet and make it really nice because we in bad shape financial matters.
Okay.
Okay, and this dirty in the front, I don't know, the garbage in the front was we took it from the behind the house when was the hurricane. When we put it in there, I did myself. I put everything in this in small amount and call to the place to pick up, but they say it's too much to be picked up. I call, I request, they say no. But I saw across the street, they took sofa from my neighbor, a bed, and more.
That they will come, it may cost you something.
Yeah,
But they definitely will come pick it up if you talk to them and, but it may cost you something. I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge of, Waste Pro, but I think that.
Okay, the tree in the middle of the front garden was really big, really enormous, and broke in the front of the house because it's I don't know how to say it, bad shape. Yeah. And I called to the city and they charged me $600 to pick up the tree. I still pay because I could not afford everything once. They charged me $100 every month. I pay a little bit every month. That's why I cannot afford it right now to pay again because I still pay for the another one.
All right. Does your son live there with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're not here today to cost you money.
Okay.
We can see that there are things that need to be done.
Yeah, I know.
Not just outside, but inside as well. I guess the air conditioning. And there's some renovations that were done. I don't know whether those were done inside or outside, Ms. Kirk. What are?
Madam Chairman, that's not on our agenda. There's nothing, no mention of that on this.
Of what? I was just reading from it.
It doesn't mention anything about an air conditioner or.
HVAC?
Oh, HVAC is the air?
Yes, it
Sorry.
is. Sorry.
Contract.
Okay, I thought I was reading from that. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
On September 1st, Ms. Harris and her son came to the office, and I spoke with them in the lobby, and I printed out a copy of different various paperwork from the permits that were canceled and expired. and showing her in detail what needed to be completed. Because apparently there was construction done, there was renovations started, and then it stopped. And then I believe she purchased the house. Okay. So I said it still has to be, completed, or so that's where we're at. And then since September, I haven't had any contact until yesterday. So I'm just,
Let me explain something to you, Ms. Harris. We are only here right now to say, God bless you, we're only here today to find you in compliance or non-compliance. We can look and see that things aren't the way they should be. So we'll take a vote on that. And that means you'll have to come back.
Okay.
And hopefully you will be able to work with Ms. Kirk, and maybe Ms. Kirk can show you what needs to be done, or maybe you can get help somewhere. I don't know. It's not up to me, or maybe Waste Pro will help you at that. That's not up to our board to do.
Okay.
It has to be up to you. We can't do anything about those things. But you can talk to Ms. Kirk, and she can probably send you in the right direction. Okay?
Okay, miss.
All right.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Doesn't the city pick up those type of shrubs and all that? Because I know in my neighborhood, they do.
They do.
And we don't have to pay. We don't have to pay.
I think it depends on where you are in the city.
Okay, I'm asking the city the question, please.
But they don't.
I don't, they're not Waste Pro. That's the issue.
Well, I know they're not Waste Pro, but I know in my neighborhood, they pick up, people clean up their yards. They put the brushes, the bushes outside, and there's a certain day for that type of pickup. I'm just asking the question.
I know, but I don't know whether anybody here has the expertise to answer you, because it's a question for Waste Pro, so that even if they thought that they knew the answer, it's really not.
Yeah, Madam Chair, if I can say.
Go ahead.
Mr. Gonzalez, sound like what you're describing is part of the Waste Pro contract. The pickup for the trash, what's that called,
solid waste Pro.
The
Yard
yard
debris?
waste. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, yard waste.
Yeah, the pickup of the yard waste should be part of the Waste Pro contract. So when they come around, it's actually contracted work.
Right.
So that,
And why she didn't fit into that, there may be a number of factors that we just don't have enough information.
I can explain.
Okay, go
There's
ahead.
different, so the various pictures, there's different piles. So I think there was a pickup, and then now, I think that's part of it. So there was a larger, the tree, I believe during the hurricane part of it came down, so there was a really large pile that was removed. Now there's 3 new small piles. So it's just, and I think I can give her a handout and the contact information, because I think it has to
Okay,
be stored in a
good.
certain spot, and it's
Yeah.
collected on a certain day. I believe it's Wednesday in that neighborhood. when they
okay.
Pick it up.
okay. All right. So the chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance, or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second, Ms. Marshall. In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, case number, thank you. So you work with Ms. Kirk, okay?
Okay.
So you know what to do.
Okay.
All right. Case number 23, CEB 0223-38, Industrial Quality Services LLC. That person available? Or that group available, or a representative of that group? Are they available? No, okay.
Okay, this was a tenant complaint generated case that was opened February 4th of 2022. Site inspection revealed rodent harborage, unsanitary conditions, overgrown grass, damaged fence, defective interior and exterior surfaces, missing electrical covers. There was a new owner, September of 2022.
And that's industrial quality?
Yes, that's the new owner.
okay.
So I had to recite the property. There has been, it appears there's been some unpermitted work been done to correct the exterior issues. I first noticed the new owner on October 20th of 2022. I have had no contact from the new owners. I re-inspected the property February 24th of 23, non-compliance. Staff's requesting an order of non-compliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
So I've been dying to ask this question. So if you want rodent infestation and your house to fall apart, you call industrial quality services?
Possibly.
Is that what they do? Is it those kind of quality services? Who are these people?
I have no idea. They have not contacted me.
You don't know where they're located?
I believe they're in Orlando.
Nothing?
Our address is, we sent the mailing information to Tampa, Florida.
Oh, Tampa.
To
Tampa.
Okay.
I mean, the reason this comes up, and just to explain to anybody that's here, the reason that this sometimes comes up, that we ask where people are from, because often used as an excuse. I couldn't get there, I didn't do this, I live in Canada, whatever. But they're still responsible for the property. And sometimes it's harder to get in touch with them and they don't do things. So it's important to know where people are from. And it seems, it doesn't matter.
Are these people, the tenants still in there?
No, I believe they were getting evicted when they contacted me, so,
So it's not occupied?
right, it's
Oh,
vacant.
okay,
It
good.
definitely is
Okay.
vacant. But there has been work done on the property, and there's no
Unpermitted.
permits, yeah.
And the other thing is this under the rentals with the city? The rental program? Because they're
I
supposed to
would
go
have
out
to
every
check.
2 years and check,
Right.
correct?
That's right.
Right, so I would have to
This
check.
house shouldn't be looking like this.
Yeah, there may be a rental case open on it, I'm not 100% sure.
This is, I mean, it's just
Ma-
sad that people live like that.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I think that you are correct in your observation, because it seems like we get a lot of cases and issues that come before us with outside companies, and they're not providing the service. And so the owner or the resident is getting stuck with the problem that the company is creating. So,
Yeah.
I don't think we could do anything about it, but.
No, we can't, you can't, keep- I mean, it's,
But I-
people can buy whatever they want, so,
I think that's a good point.
yeah. It just happens more often than I think I'd like to see it happen in our city. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent commit to compliance by the next cutoff date, which is April 5th, 2023, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day. Such a motion. Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor, say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, Ms. Kirk, another one for you. CEB 03-23-47, Jean Harrington.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is a field-generated case, was Roll 6, that was open on August 11th of 2022. Site inspection revealed missing address numbers and an expired accessory permit driveway. Address numbers have been put up. First notification was September 22nd of 2022. I've had no contact. I re-inspected on March 1st of 2023, non-compliance. Staff's requesting an order of non-compliance with compliance by the next cutoff.
Where is the accessory?
It's the driveway, the permit for the driveway.
So it's a new driveway that was put in, is that right?
Right, and I did speak with the building inspector that initially inspected the driveway, and he confirmed that it just needs, the final inspection was never completed, so it
Okay.
expired.
Okay. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to commit to compliance by the next cutoff date, which is April 5th, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second. second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Mr. Wiggins. Good morning. All right, we have case number 25, CEB 03-23-48, Stacy Johnson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your name and address for the record and be sworn in.
Stacy Johnson, 137 Pierce Avenue.
Okay.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, I do.
All right, we'll hear from Mr. Wiggins first, and then we'll let you talk.
All right, Inspector Wiggins, code compliance, credentials on file. This was a Rule of 6, field generated. The case was opened February the 21st, 2022. First notice received was February the 24th, 2022 for a roof leak. The compliance was due by March 26, 2022. I have had contact with the owner, but the issue remains, and the staff recommends non-compliance, compliance next cutoff.
Okay. I want to see, can I see those okay. I'm getting confused.
I know, a couple of other.
It looks like different houses to me.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of extra pictures.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's the White House.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right there.
All right, okay.
I took two angles, basically two pictures for the roof, and then the carport. If you can look underneath there.
Yeah.
It was actually, that's damaged as well. That's actually coming down a little bit.
Yeah, okay. All right, so, Ms. Johnson, what would you like to say? I mean, we're only here today, we can, the roof is damaged, right? We can see the carport damage. What would you, what are you doing to?
I don't have the money to fix it. I applied for some assistance, but I didn't know that you had to have your taxes up to date, and my taxes were behind, and I almost lost my house in December, so I had to pay $4,000, so I just don't have the money.
I'm sorry for your problems. The house is not in compliance. I don't know whether someone can refer you someplace for help or not. I'm very sorry for your problems. I'm not trying to, we're not trying to add to your problems. But the house is not in compliance.
I understand.
So if there's, I'm not supposed to give you, we're not allowed to give you suggestions.
I understand.
But there may be places you can go to get some help, and maybe Mr. Wiggins could tell you what those are. Because it's just not part of what we're allowed to do.
I understand.
So, and today, all we're doing, all we're doing today is we see that the house needs work, okay? That's all we're doing. That's all we're saying to you.
Okay.
And that if there's any way, do you have anyone else in your family?
Most of them, they're all passed away.
Okay. All right. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date or be returned to the board. The next cutoff date is 4/5/2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
I would like to amend that, and instead of the next cutoff, give her extra month.
We can, it's just compliance or non-compliance.
Oh, you can't do that in compliance, non-compliance? You're asking her to be in compliance
Well, we
next
could
month.
ask her to come into compliance. We can find her in non-compliance and ask her to come into compliance whenever.
That's what I thought.
I mean,
Not
it
whenever,
could be,
but-
normally what we do is, the next cutoff.
Right,
But
that's
it
the-
doesn't have to
yeah.
be the next.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Am I
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because we've done it before.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done it before,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that's why I'm bringing it
So
up.
go ahead. So you want to amend?
Yes, I want to amend the motion, the part that, amend the motion to come into compliance in 2 months. What is,
Okay, that would be May 3rd.
okay, compliance to May 3rd.
Okay, or be returned to the board.
Right,
Okay.
be returned to the board.
All right, we have an amended motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. We'll give you a little leeway to try and find some help to get this fixed. There are places out there where you might get some help. We just can't tell you someone's gonna help you and then they don't, you know, that's something we can't do.
Okay, thank
But
you.
we're giving you a little time to figure that out. Is your house leaking water?
A little bit, yes. Thank you.
All right, case number 26, CEB, and this is Mr. Wiggins too, CEB 03-23-51, Botero Holdings LLC, TR, Trust, I imagine that means. Oh, good, someone's here. Hello. You are?
Josue Botero from Botero Holdings LLC. I'm the manager.
You're the manager of Botero Holdings. Can you spell your last name?
Botero, Botero.
Oh, you are Botero.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You're Mr. Botero.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Be sworn in, please.
I'm sorry, can you state your first name again?
Josue.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right.
Pull that mic up.
Up. Like that.
Okay. We are going to hear from Mr. Wiggins first, and then if you would like to add something or say something, you're welcome to.
All right, this is, again, a field-generated case. Case was open April the 1st, 2021. First notice received was August 25th, 2021, for boarded windows, dirt and grime. The compliance was due by September 24th, 2021. I have had contact with the owner, but the issue remains, and staff recommends non-compliance, compliance, next cutoff.
Sir, do you live there?
No,
Does anyone live there?
no,
So it's vacant. Where do
Yes.
you live?
Orlando.
Okay, so we can see that there are things that need to be done. Are you doing them?
Yes, the GC is. I mean, I follow up with the GC every week to get updates on what he's doing.
What has he done?
It's a full renovation.
Do you have permits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
What?
I'm a civil engineer, right? I've been working a full-time job. This is just an investment. I just want to say this. I see a trend here of people that come to Daytona Beach, buy these investments. Like this lady that came, she was the one who sold me these houses actually. So it seems like she's helping this guy in Canada. So what I see here is that we're thinking that this should take maybe 6 months to get it done, and I see that. I worked for I-4 as an engineer, building I-4 Ultimate for 9 years, and even the big guys like them had big issues with labor trying to get that.
We understand
Right,
that.
exactly. And this what happened here
When did
was
you buy this property?
in 2021, beginning of 2021.
2021.
Yes.
Okay, where are we now? 2023.
2023, yes. Yeah, 2 years. It's been 2 years, yes.
Sounds like more than.
Yes, yeah, no, and you're right. You have to hold, contractors to a higher standard, of course, and that's what I try to do as well. That's what I've been doing for 9 years. In this case, the first year, 2021, was difficult to get the permits because these are fire damaged houses. So even the trusses got damaged, and you need a whole and we added extra square footage so this could work. So getting all that, getting the permits, getting the engineers to get this done, it took 8 months, just that. Then getting the trusses, it took another 4 months. Then getting the windows So all that, when you added all that, and you see like, oh, it's been 2 years. Yeah, it's a long time. I agree. It's a long time. It shouldn't be like, I'm from the old school. I've been building since the 2000s. It should be just, 6 months or no more than a year. But after COVID, things changed drastically. And it's not just for me.
Right.
It's even for the big guys, even for the big contractors. Why? Because there's people who borrow money cheaper and we're able to go and do other stuff and pay more money to a lot of these contractors. So we budget for these jobs too cheap, too low for what it is being paid out there. So find contractors that come and do this job is hard. So this lady, we had a contract since 2021 at set price. Because of what happened, we changed it, but it's still not enough. And what I see is that she's going very slow because she's not paying them enough. So the guy is going there, like Mr. Wiggins sees, he goes there whenever he can. And that's what I have seen is the issue. So they clean up all that yesterday. All the roofing material is gone. She gave me this letter yesterday where she is finishing the windows in both houses. So it's going to be in compliance. Like at this point, I think it's in compliance. But yeah, I mean, I just want to speak for contractors. When you said that, we have to hold them at higher standard. Yes, yeah, definitely. But it's
Okay, all right, so
It's- yeah.
we're only here today, we can see more needs to be done, and that it's not in compliance.
No, no,
That's all we're here
Okay.
today. In order to be in compliance, you have to have Mr. Wiggins go out there.
Oh, okay.
So make sure that you have his card and his phone number. If you think you're in compliance, what you need to do is contact him and say, we're in compliance, would you come, we think we're in compliance,
will
will
do
you
that.
come check? And then Mr. Wiggins will come out there. When was the last time you were there, Mr. Wiggins?
I was out there Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. But again, we got dirt and grime on the building, and I know they're doing a interior renovation, so I know it's not gonna be in compliance because he's probably gonna end up painting the building last.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
So it's not.
Well, in order to, well, no, I'm not.
It's a-
telling-
it's a
I'm not
full
telling
renovation.
Anybody their business, but you need to have a clean, you can't paint a dirty building, so, anyway.
Yeah, we have to finish the stucco to
Right.
be able to paint.
Right.
And we need to finish the windows so we can finish the stucco.
All right, well,
And then
whatever,
we-
it's not in compliance.
Right.
yet. So Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent commit to compliance by the next cutoff date 4/5/2023, be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So,
So,
yep, stay in touch.
yeah, no,
With
yeah,
Mr.
we've been in touch the whole time. We after the hurricane, we lost contact, and that's why this ended up
Okay,
here.
but,
That's why, yeah.
So,
Every
that
time
when
he,
you come back next month, if there's movement on all this stuff, and we'll decide what to do then. We've made no
Oh,
decision today, other
okay.
than to tell you what you know. You're not in compliance, okay? You
Okay.
think you are, you need to
No, I got-
have Mr. Wiggins go out there.
I got pictures from last night, and they
Yeah,
cleaned
well,
the.
you
yeah,
talk to him about that.
I will.
We're not
Okay.
the ones that put you in compliance. Okay,
No problem.
all right. Okay, thank you. All right, now,
It's two
oh,
houses.
the next one.
It's two houses. Yeah, I bought I bought the two houses at almost at the same time. So.
They're on the same street.
Same street, yeah, same
611
issue,
and
fire damaged
630. All right,
houses.
this is 611 Tanglewood, okay.
Correct, yeah.
Well, I get, does he have to, doesn't have to be resworn, right? No. No, okay. All right, still under oath. I let Mr. Wiggins tell us about this one.
Again, field-generated case. It was open April 8th, 2021. First notice received was April 12th, 2021. Again, for boarded windows, missing windows, and a damaged planter up front. The compliance was due by May 12th, 2021. I have had contact with the owner, and the issue remains. Staff recommends non-compliance, compliance next cutoff.
Missing windows? Which windows are missing? Where the boards are?
Where the boards are,
Uh-huh.
we just did that about a week ago.
Okay.
Those two little windows in, but
Yeah.
look at the side there.
I see that.
Those were missing, but the.
And they're open?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, a little more time. What would you like to say? Anything? You're working on it, right?
I mean, those is because they couldn't find the vinyl ones because the size doesn't fit the vinyl ones, so they need to buy wood ones, and that's why they haven't done it. So the GC gave me this letter stating that they got the windows on the 28th, and they're being installed this week. That's what she's stating in
Good.
this letter.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah.
All right. If you get this property in compliance, or you think it's in compliance, you call Mr. Wiggins.
Okay. Yeah, we will.
Do you have his card? Do you have his number? You have all of that? Okay.
I didn't hear from him for 5 months, and I
Yeah,
thought everything
good.
was fine, and
Okay.
that's why
All
he
right.
ended up
Yeah,
here.
it's been a while. Okay.
He's an
All right.
amazing guy.
Okay, thank you. The chair will entertain motion to find respondent in noncompliance or respondent to come into compliance by April 5th, 2023, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby. Mr. Gonzalez, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, case number 28, CEB 03-23-49, Shivan Universal LLC. Or maybe it's Shivan. Somebody can tell me. Probably Shivan. Good morning.
Morning.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Jolynn Schaefer, 316 Woodland Avenue, Daytona Beach.
Did you say Jolene? Jolene?
Jolynn.
Will you raise your right hand? Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And what is your relationship to the owner?
Me. Self.
That's you. And how do you pronounce your last name?
Schaefer.
Well, who is Shivan Universal? Am I in the wrong?
Where'd that come from? Okay.
Did I skip a case here?
No.
We're at 1404.
Here's the case.
We're on that case.
Wait, let me understand this. All right. This is what is on our agenda. And I want to state this clearly. Case number 28, CEB 03-23-49, Shivan Universal LLC at 1404 North Atlantic, number 25. Is this the case we're on?
That's him, yeah.
Well,
This case was-
Well, no, well. Well, I want to know from the city if this is the case we're on. Okay. Now, who are you? Who is this lady? You're Jolynn Schaefer?
yes, ma'am.
And what is your relationship to Shivan Universal?
No relationship at all.
All right, so you're not going to testify here right now if you have no relationship with him?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
All right, let's get, okay, all right, now, we're going to stop everything right now, and we'll try and get this straightened out, okay?
Yeah, Madam Chair, well, clarification on that. I think we called back. No, SSC. Updated agenda, and so this may have been resolved, and then just to get some clarification on the one with Ms. Schaefer, I believe she said
Yeah.
her name is. So if we could just have one moment.
Okay, that's fine.
compliance letter. It's an affidavit of compliance. It is an affidavit of compliance.
Oh,
She is in compliance.
So her case wasn't even listed.
Correct.
Okay, so then-
okay.
Oh, thank God we don't have to-
What a way to
I'm
spend
here for nothing. Just a couple of hours.
All right. Oh, poor thing. And she was last on the agenda.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. So here we are. Case number 28, CEB 03-23-49. And is it Shivan or Shivan?
Sorry, child?
Universal LLC?
Yes.
Shivan?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my grandson.
How, that's your grandson owns? What is your relation? I mean,
I'm the owner. Just say that.
oh, let's state your name and
Yeah.
address for the record and be sworn in, please. Let me
What's your name, sir?
Mukesh Patel,
Can you spell your first name for me?
Mukesh.
And your last name is Patel.
Yeah, Patel.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That's true.
Thank you.
So your grandson owns Shivan Universal LLC?
Oh, not really, actually. I'm the owner. I just put his name there.
Well, if you're the owner, you can speak. Otherwise, if your grandson is the owner, he would have needed to give you permission to speak. You
No,
understand?
in what you call
So
corporate Sunbees, I'm the owner.
you are the owner.
Yeah.
That's all we need to know.
Okay, man.
You're under oath and you're telling me you're the owner?
Yeah.
I believe you're the owner. Your grandson has nothing to do with it,
No.
really? Okay. Other than he may be another owner. I don't know, but it's okay.
He named it after his grandson.
What?
I said, it sounded like he's saying he named it after his grandson.
Right. Oh, got it. Okay. All right. So we're going to hear from Mr. Stenson, and then we'll give you a little bit of time to talk because we're just here to decide whether you are in compliance, whether anything needs fixing or it doesn't need fixing. And we're going to listen to Mr. Stenson show us pictures and tell us why he thinks it needs fixing. Okay? All right.
This is a complaint-driven case for renovations without permit and broken windows. I've just had contact with this property owner. The property was posted on 10 January of '23. Compliance was due on 24 January '23. Multiple re-inspections, the last one being on 3/6. The property remains in non-compliance. There has been a permit issued, but we just still need to give him time to complete the job. There are some other issues that he's going to have to address before the project is finished, but he should be able to get it done by the next cutoff.
Okay, so you can see, we can see there's still some things to be done. We can also, there's been testimony that the permits have been issued, but they have not been finalized. Somebody hasn't come and okayed them from the city. So you're not in compliance. That's all we're doing today, okay? Nothing more than that. So is there anything you want to say? I mean, you're working on it and.
As you know, we already applied for the permit.
Correct.
So we're getting the material and everything.
Okay.
Which was on 3rd one, March 3rd. It's only 9 days, and we're trying to
I know.
do by compliance.
Okay.
We're trying to work on
That's
compliance.
okay. I
So
mean,
the material and everything is getting backed up.
I get
And
it.
if you can allow us some time, give us some time before we get it. All the windows, everything has been, people are coming in to give us quote and all that. You know, not quote, I mean, to get,
I know.
yeah,
To
you know,
do the
items
work.
get, and it's backed up, and they're taking months and months to get appointment. So the contractor is working on it to get sooner the better. So if you allow us some more time, I can get it done.
I believe you,
Yeah.
because it looks like there's some nice work going on there too, and we appreciate good work, so. But it's still not there yet, so let us decide what we want. Do you want to,
Move
make,
to the next cutoff.
okay?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and, from,
Madam Chair, I think it's a finding of compliance and noncompliance.
Right, finding of non-compliance, move to the next cutoff.
right, okay. We're gonna find the respondent non-compliance and, order the respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is 4/5, 2023. Be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day. It doesn't mean necessarily that we are going to fine you by next month. We can. But if you bring back all the paperwork and show that things are moving along and all that, we will take all those things into consideration. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion from Mr. Harrington. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I already did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
I have a question.
Go ahead.